I hope everybody has a good time.
Word.
Um,
What else?
what else we gotta get to while we're on music? So Universal Music, they have streaming sites to block AI companies from accessing their songs.
Yep. Thoughts?
A lot of people are really getting tapped into this AI thing,
Yep.
or rather, I should say, AI is getting tapped into us.
Yep.
Um, I'm not mad at it.
You're not mad at what? You're not mad at AI having access to the music?
I'm not mad at
Or
Universal asking streaming sites to block AI.
tell me more.
I guess I don't know. I think that the machines are like, how when computers first became the thing, like really became mainstream, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, computers are going to take over the world, and like robots are going to by the year 2000, robots are going to be running the world, and like the rest of us will just cease to exist or cease to matter." Something about this AI stuff that's coming out feels very much like that for me. Everything is attached to AI these days, and I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about it. I have bits and pieces of information, um, but I think it's almost like separation of church and state. Like if if Instagram can block bots,
They don't.
I'm just I'm just saying they can
Okay.
if they want to, right?
They have the ability.
Or whoever, it doesn't have to be Instagram, but if those types of companies, social media companies, can block bots, why can't I mean, what is the AI doing? Maybe you have more information on this. What is AI doing that is so bad for Universal? Maybe we should start there.
Well,
Because
there are
maybe I don't have
different
all the
ways to
facts.
look at it. One is if the AI can study the music, it can learn to reproduce the music, which there are tons of examples of already. There's already examples of AI Jay-Z, AI Rihanna, AI Metro Boomin Beats, AI The Weekend songs, AI Drake songs.
Oh, so yeah, no,
And so, hold on, let me answer.
so
And
I said
so,
what I
from a
needed to say.
business standpoint, if the AI can listen to the music and learn the music, then it can mass produce the music, which means that Universal, from a business standpoint, would be losing money because if you can set up your computer to create the new Rihanna song, what do we need Rihanna for? No, rather, let me flip that. I'm saying it wrong.
No, and I
If your
understand what you
computer
mean.
can make the latest, greatest Rihanna song, how do we make money from Rihanna now?
Right.
Or any artist, right?
Right.
If Universal Music Group is trying to push a new artist with a specific sound, let's say the hottest drill rapper that just came from Brooklyn, right? But the AI has studied all of the drill rappers and has better songs or bigger hits. Now what?
Right.
Because they've learned your sound, timing, formula, cadence. So that's one aspect.
Okay.
The other aspect is because you said bots, and bots are technically a form of AI.
I mean, yeah. I figured as I was saying it, figured it was pretty much the same thing.
If bots can access the music, they can play the music for other people and create bigger, more powerful streaming farms.
Okay.
For those who don't know what a streaming farm is, a streaming farm is when you, or I should say, an artist or a label, because depending on what resources you have, you can do this in different ways. When your music is being played and no people are pressing buttons, Things are just playing over and over and over again, however you see fit. And so, again, from a business standpoint, if artist A can have different AI programs or different computers, tablets, whatever, playing their music and they're nowhere to be found, or let's just say there's 3 people in a huge, what they call them now, content house. If there are 3 quote unquote staff members in a content house controlling a full room of devices that are streaming, Universal Music Group, from a business standpoint, would be losing money because this artist or label would be getting tons and tons of streams.
Gotcha.
As opposed to their artists. And so, same example of them trying to push the new drill artist, but Dash Indy is a drill artist, and me and our good buddy Chris with a K
Right.
are manning, quote unquote, an entire room full of AI devices. Now you got the #1 hit this week on whatever streaming app, as opposed to Universal Music Group's new drill artist that we just made up.
Well, and if that's the case, then from a business standpoint, I agree with Universal Music Group. Now we could talk about how problematic the music industry is.
That's why I made sure I said
how problematic record labels are, right? But a business is a business is a business, right? And the purpose of the people in charge of a business is to protect the assets of the business and also grow revenue. So
Yes.
from a business standpoint, from a revenue standpoint, no, fuck that. Make them go away. Now, if we want to talk about how predatory the music industry is,
it's another pod.
that's a different conversation. I want to make it clear. I'm not someone who supports the labels, but I am someone who works in advertising. So from a business standpoint, nah, fuck that. That's not helpful to the bottom line.
Well, there you go.
No, and I feel very confident in saying that.
I see.
No. If I'm executive vice president at a record label and I know that this is potentially a problem, or first of all, part of your job too is like trying to get ahead of things before they become real problems.
Yep.
No, block it. If there's a way to block it, if I gotta pay to block it, if it's cheaper for me to pay to block it than to have it become a problem 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, let's just block it and get it over with. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think?
I think it's super interesting. I think #1, it's very interesting, and they've got a lot of privilege to be able to hit up the streaming sites and say, hey, homie, can you do me a favor? This AI shit is getting problematic. Can you just block them from having access to all our shit? Thanks. See you Friday for golf.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I think. The second thing I think is that they are trying to do what you're saying and recognize problems before they become bigger, unmanageable problems. And so AI is learning at a very quick rate. If you listen to AI created songs from 6 months ago, they sound more robotic and less smooth than they do today.
Okay.
There is a pack of Rihanna songs that are AI generated. They basically took hit records from other people and had the AI sing it in Rihanna's voice. There's like 10 songs that are hits from other people.
Interesting.
Some of them sound a lot like Rihanna. And so they are recognizing that, hey, this shit is learning really fast. This could fuck up our bottom line. This could fuck up our money. And so they're trying to get ahead of it. You're correct. What do I think? I think Universal Music Group is one of the biggest labels in the music business. It's arguably the biggest label in the music business. I think that they are trying to nip it in the butt now before things get out of hand with the AI and the way that it is learning and generating music / content, I think that they are fearful of what AI can possibly do because of the rapid rate that AI is learning and generating this new content. I don't have a strong stance on whether they should be able to block access or not. I am a buck the system kind of person. And so if we can get Dashing D's single to be the #1 song on the streaming sites, bringing more attention to Dashing D as opposed to whoever's backed by millions of dollars. I'm sorry, Plant. Whoever's being backed by the millions of dollars at Universal, I'm for that. I'm for that. If we can, even if it's not Dashing D, if it's, your sister, you know what I mean? Like whoever, if it's somebody that's within our reach, then yeah, I want to be able to help them succeed. And if using AI does that, I'm not against that at all. But I also understand the business aspect of Universal and what they are trying to protect as a conglomerate. Because, I mean, it's kind of wild to even think this, but who knows, 5 years from now, there could be no Universal Music Group if AI is able to do all of these things.
But here's I guess where my confusion is. This AI stuff, there's an actual person attached to it? Because you just said if it helps an artist.
Well, I gave 2 examples. So I gave the example of the AI being able to create songs as whatever artist, right, that you program it to be. The same people we just named a little while ago. It could be Jay-Z, Drake, Weeknd, whoever. Then the second example I gave is an independent artist or label trying to flourish and spread the word, etc. 2 different uses for AI.
Right. So those people are not actually taking music that Universal
sells,
released.
No.
And right. Okay. So
I
agree
but we're talking about the bottom line, right? So one of the ways that Universal Music Group thrives, right, is by getting their artist songs to the top of the charts, which then also helps them, because this is another deal they have, it also helps playlist placements. Today, a lot of artists who are not the top 10 artists, they rely on playlist placements. If you're losing those playlist placements to AI generated songs, this now affects the artist. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So the artist doesn't get played, which means the artist doesn't get playlist placement. 2 different ways that Universal Music Group has lost money.
But I guess my question is, this thing that we're specifically speaking about with them trying to block AI companies from accessing their songs, that doesn't necessarily affect an independent artist.
But it could. That's what I'm saying. We don't know that to be true. Because you could, so let's say, same example from before. You're the new drill artist, right? I own, this is an example, I own an AI company. And I come to you and say, hey, I saw you at a show the other night in Brooklyn. You did a great job. But I looked up your streams. You have very low numbers. My company can get you to 1 million streams by tomorrow for X amount of money. See how I just changed the game?
Right.
You give me X amount of money, and now I go up there and access the song, and I'm doing all the things I just said. So now your song is #1. You've got 1 million streams in 24 hours. Whoever artist that, same example, the new drill artist that Universal Music Group is trying to push, they're not getting those streams. They're losing playlist placements because you're getting the streams and you're gaining the placements.
Okay.
And so now let's tie it into Summer Jam. When it's time to start booking artists, Universal Music Group can't get their artists booked for Summer Jam because now everyone's looking for Dashing D's drill song to be performed at Summer Jam.
Gotcha. Oh, I mean,
It gets sticky.
It does. It does. But unfortunately, the things that we won't talk about when it comes to the music industry right now is that those are the same things that kind of created this push and pull between like independent artists versus the artists at the big labels and being on the streaming sites and all of that. And it's almost like it'll continue to be a vicious circle anyway. Like,
Well, arguably, AI could change that. Because the things that an independent artist does not have access to, they could gain access to through the AI.
yeah, no, I get that.
And so that's why I don't have a clear stance. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how this goes as things continue.
Yeah, and I'm open to learning more. I again, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about AI, and I feel like it's coming at us from a lot of different angles. It's not just music. It's not just social media. I saw someone the other day say that they're using AI to create their resume. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
You can have the AI write your essay right now.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
There's a Gary Vee video where someone asks him, "Hey, how do you think AI is going to?" They were asking him about AI versus journalism. I don't remember the exact question, but I guess the question was basically, does he think AI is going to hurt journalists? And he said no. And so he gave an example of how a journalist could put a prompt in ChatGPT and say, I want an article about all of these things, right? And say how long you want the article, the style of writing you want the article, the tone you want the article, and then the article is done. And now your article is done in minutes, and you can still have a creative portion by editing, proofreading, adding your pieces to it, and adding further sources that perhaps the AI didn't know.
Right. Yeah.
The same way we sit here and say, oh yeah, you know, in 96, Jay-Z said this. Oh, Monica had a hit record called blah, blah, blah. You know, all these little teeny tiny details that may not come up for the chat GPT or the AI.
Yeah.
That's when you insert your piece. He said, so you could arguably have an award-winning article that was mostly done by AI.
I get that. That makes sense. Any last thoughts on that? Because I don't have any more.
Nah, I think we did quite enough on that one. I didn't expect that to be such a long topic, but you know, that was fun.
Yeah.